Thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the CommanderSmiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowery Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
There you go.
Sorry.
This is episode 211. Right? 211? Yes.
Yeah, that's
Next week is 212 or 211.
Yeah.
Yep, 211.
Yeah.
And we have quite the episode for you guys. We just we came up with it a couple days ago, and it's blossoming because we have this happening this episode, and then we have something that it's stemmed into for next week's episode as well. So a little foreshadowing. What are we doing though, Lowery? I'm saying all this, but what are we actually doing today?
Okay, so we're going to talk about, it's kind of like the ban list, and we're going to talk about a couple of cards that we think that can come off. And I don't think it's too wild. Like, I think there's enough people that talk about it if you listen to other people. But some of the other banned cards, we want to talk about what some replacement cards could be for them. And I think, and why those cards should probably just stay banned.
Right.
There's kind of like
some good
a lot
reasoning
going on. I think.
Good reasoning. And then, like you said, a couple cards that we think could come off, might come off. There's talk of them, whatever. We don't like having banned cards. I don't know. More the merrier in Commander, right?
The less the
Except
merrier,
if you're playing
the less banned.
Paradox. Yeah, I guess you're right. The other way around. Paradox Engine, which we called from day one, should be banned. And then we had a voting Salty 64, and then we got that banned. Thank you guys.
Yep,
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, everybody's super happy about that.
We also are on week number, we are on week number 6 or 7. We're on week number 7. I think that's right.
What?
For Stump the Smith Savant.
Yeah.
So one more week after this week. If you don't get stumped this week and you don't get stumped next week. Oh, no, wait. Really quick. If you don't get stumped this week, Lowery, you break the record. This will be the longest you have gone without being stumped.
I feel like I already am there. But
no, you tied it. Or no, you're right. You got knocked out on week 6 of, I don't remember what round it was, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
We are on week 7, so you just passed it. So congratulations, Larry.
There we go.
But if we go 2 more weeks of you not getting stumped, we will add a third card, which, by the way, if you guys don't remember, these 2 cards, which you guys listening, it is Temple Garden that's a little beat up from Card Kingdom.
We could tear it in half. And be like, you got a Temple Garden. You got 2 Temple Gardens.
Yeah, you got a half of one. Certain people are wanting us to sign it if they win it because it is damaged already. And then the retro foil of Sword and Hearth and Home. So there are prizes on the line. This week, by the way, we played games. We played some Discord games yesterday, and I didn't do Proxy Time for the 3rd week in a row, which feels really weird. It's almost like a month. I've done it once this month.
Maybe you just don't like doing proxies anymore.
It's about my sex life there, too, once this month.
Wow. Lucky.
I mean, that's all you can really do.
Lucky.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? Isn't it the once a year thing?
No, I doubt it.
But so we chose...
Where's the cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, I actually took that one off of there because we stopped using that one. Yes. I didn't do the cha-ching
that's
anymore.
a good story.
Yeah. So we did games yesterday. I didn't do Proxy Time, so I forgot to do the drawing. Yeah. And so we picked the longest lasting or request, I guess, entry that has not been drawn yet. And this week is Andy S., which happens to be a part of the Discord as well. And so we'll see if Andy can actually stump you this week. So
we will see.
How'd our games go yesterday, Lau?
Oh, I got stumped 3 times? 3 times.
We had 3 games. Yeah, we had 3 games.
I randomly get attacked directly. No. I got
the Kill the Smiths starts. There's like a level to it. It's like Kill the Smiths, but if there's an Adam and a Lowery, the L comes first and then the A comes after.
Whatever.
Kind of.
I mean, So the star Inferno star from D&D, the red dragon.
Yeah,
Nick's deck went off.
He
He killed me with 20 damage.
almost got me.
Almost got you with the 20 damage. He
He
was able to
hit
get
me
that
with the
twice.
20 damage,
Did he?
but I was
Okay.
at 11. But the best card from Curated MTG, which will be tagged right here, by the way, Elephant Grass. Curated MTG, Elephant Grass, request from Lowery like 2 months ago or whatever, 3 months ago. That sucker went in my Daryl deck. And multiple times, both Lowery and Nick kept forgetting, you can't attack me with your black creatures, or even if you're attacking me, you have to pay 2. And so Nick would get tapped out, so he couldn't attack me. Lowery was trying to attack me with his, was it Umbrus at that time?
Yeah,
It was Umbrus.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, Adam, you're getting attacked. It's like, no. So that saved my ass. Thank you.
And then the
Lowery.
second game, what was it?
Oh, that was
Jake
fucking fantastic.
He kicked a Rite of Replication on my Umbrus, and
Which-
they all recognize each other.
Side
yeah.
note to that, I was playing Kaima, and I put no one could target your Umbrus anymore, not even you.
Yep.
But then Travis had to jump in and be like, I'm using Adam's land because he was using
Stealing.
Yeah, he was stealing my shit. So he's like, I'm gonna use Adam's what is it, the lighthouse one?
Desolate
whatever
or
land.
Arcane Lighthouse. I'm not sure which one it was.
He removed
But he had both.
hexproof and from creatures when he was casting the Rite of Replication. He's like, okay, I'll make 5 Rite of Replications. Well, normally he'd only end up with 1, but he had fucking Sakashima of 1,000 faces out.
So Legend Rule was gone.
So he got 5 of them, and they turned into 82 82s. Lowry's wasn't as big, but it was still.
It was it was like
huge.
a 50 or 60 something.
60 something.
Oof.
And then he turned and killed Travis. Which was the right move, because Travis was the only way to kill Jake with that Mr. Dragon there.
Oh, it was good.
That was some fun games though. But
It
we got rolled over by 82 Umbruses.
Umbrus? Yeah, and then the third game I died to Kozilek,
Dice roll.
a 20, dice roll. He was
Dice
like a
roll.
26 power Kozilek, menace, trample.
Guy did the whole, I didn't kill you, the dice killed you, and
It didn't even
God.
it just dropped and just didn't move off of 1, and I was just dead. I was like, okay.
So yeah, it was
It's a fake
some
roll.
fun
It's a way
games.
to die. That's all it was.
yeah. I just got to make sure Lowery is number 1 through 3. Roll this. We don't even care about the other numbers because then
We'll
it's
just
not
figure
Lowery.
that out. That's
So
how
it was-
random works.
Yeah, right. It was fun games.
It was.
Kaima didn't get his win in, but it was fun. Like I like throwing the auras on people. Like it's a fun deck. Umbrus is, dude. It's scary good. Like I think it's pretty good, dude. I wish
It definitely
I think
needs to
the
get worked on.
I think the only thing that Umbrus is lacking is like something on the attack with him as well. Because once he hits, it's like, okay, now you're just waiting for you to cast more horrors.
Hey, watch it. She's a lady. All right.
She's a lady. But
It'll be work. Kaima messed up games.
it was
Look,
fun.
legit.
It was fun.
Like it forced you to like get
there's
Kaima.
a lot of
like it was just like, okay,
I'm
how do
gonna
we
hit
get
Adam with all this, and I'm like, you're goaded.
You're
That doesn't
goated.
mean you attack me.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people I could tell that wanted to hit Adam because every time it came to attack, hitting Adam with this, and I'm like,
I think that's a really good point though. Like you were able to control combat. So like if you and your play group are the one that kind of gets picked on a little bit, if you play Kaima, because the goaded stays, like once it triggers,
doesn't
it's on
matter
that
if it's
creature.
dead. Yeah.
And so if they can't attack you, it's pretty frustrating. And so if you're in that position in your play group, it could be a really fun deck for you to play and build.
It's a fun deck. I like it a lot. And the cool thing is I like the way I built it, where it's the recursion of the auras hitting the graveyard, coming back to the hand type of thing.
Yeah.
The times last night though, I just didn't hit the cards that draw me. And like I said, that's the thing
I
you're
did
lacking
notice that.
by not having white in the deck. there's only 5 green creature spells or enchantments.
There's not really a lot more beyond that, though. You're only missing
there's a lot
like
of white
3.
though.
You're only missing.
There's
like
a lot
3.
of white. No, if you add white and you have Silas or whatever her name is, you have Mesa Enchant. Not Mesa. Is it Mesa? Yeah, Mesa Enchantress.
Mesa Enchantress.
There's a bunch of draw spells. You have the Aura one where she gets 2+2 for each aura that's on her. Plus you draw off of whenever you cast an aura spell. There's a lot more when you start adding. Isn't that the Miri? You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Like no, it's so there's a lot more when you add white in, but when it's just green, it's like, okay, we need more green draw spells in it. But yeah, it was fun. So we're gonna continue that. That's a once a month thing. Discord Commander Night or whatever day.
We'll figure that out.
Like,
we'll figure that out.
Yeah. We'll iron that out because Sydney's like, you said you were playing at 2. I didn't realize you were saying you were playing at 2 until fucking 9 o'clock at night. Whoopsies. We did bedtime. Well, you did bedtime. I got to eat dinner and then had to do some work in between there. But what are you drinking? Let's get to that.
Oh, I am drinking a Bauhaus again. This is Lounge Lizard. It's an hazy pale ale. It's solid. Nothing special, but it's good.
It's a nice purple can you got there. Nice. I am doing the back to the cider whiskey. I finished the other whiskey last week. It's funny is on podcast nights, Cindy, we try to only have beverages maybe once or twice a week.
Okay.
And podcast night, Cindy doesn't want me drinking alone, so she's having drinks and watching her dating
That's kind
shows.
of her, but I'm here too.
That's a good point. See? Yeah, it doesn't. We don't have to be in person. That's the whole thing of it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it sounds like a good reasoning for her anyway.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about? Games are good. You got anything that happened this week?
I forgot anything that was funny with the kids.
I saw you for like a second when I dropped off your
it was
secret
a
lair
split
stuff.
second.
Yeah, it's like, here you go. It was like a drug deal because you pulled
was.
over the side of the road and
It wasn't though. It was magic cards. Oh, we can.
Oh, you got you got Jake's. Okay, Jake's getting his late shout out from Lowery.
So
the kiss my ass proxy, or it is a proxy.
It is
it's
a proxy
foil
for
and for the Stump the Smith Savant. So again, anybody that doesn't stump Lowery, you can send those in and you can put any vulgar thing on it. And if it's a land,
it doesn't have to be vulgar. We don't have to promote that. We're a clean cast here at CommanderSmiths.
Wah, wah, wah.
You're looking for a button.
It's clean.
All right, let's get to things. We are 14 minutes in. Let's do this because I'm excited for this Stump the Smith Savant.
I'm happy for you.
All right, you guys can support the podcast. Oh, I should get to this because we have somebody coming in here. Where am I at? One more.
That's support.
All right, there we go.
That's why.
All right, you guys can support the cast like our new patron. All right, so I had to sound this out.
Oh.
Just to, spell it out for myself.
Kid can't even read.
Yes, because I didn't want that. Joel Kudnohufsky.
Oh boy.
Kudnohufsky?
Oh boy.
Kudnohufsky.
Well,
I think that's.
Well, I'm gonna go delete that link to Discord because he's not coming anymore.
You bet he's coming.
Son of a bitch.
Joe Kudnohufsky.
Welcome to a meat forest.
That sounds like a fairy tale of a meat forest.
You guys can support the show just like Joel. Joel, thank you very much for supporting the show.
Thank you.
By going to Patreon and look up the CommanderSmiths. And $1 gets you into the Discord, which gets you so you guys can play Discord games like we were playing this weekend.
Only 50 cents a month will feed one CommanderSmith.
No, it's $1 a month.
Yeah, but I get 50 cents. You
give
it's I mean, it's not
well,
really.
you got to give Patreon. They get their cut,
No, they
and
get
so
their
really
cut
when
too.
it comes
Yeah,
down to
that's
it,
true.
really don't get that 50. But yeah, so
I'm
50
sure
cents.
that old man with the British accent gets a cut.
Yeah, for sure.
He's getting a cut.
So $1 gets you in the Discord. and gets you a shout out. Like, not saying, and when I'm doing that, I'm not saying Joel is $1. I'm just saying, like, you get a shout out. You get a shout out no matter when you donate.
Yeah.
$5 or more gets you proxies.
If somebody
you can pick
donates
from
like
each
25 cents, do they get a shout out?
There is not even an option.
That's not even an option. They can't just be like, here's money.
No, the Patreon just goes, go fuck yourself.
Oh.
You take that 25 cents because
shove it.
Shove it. We want at least $1.
Go give it to a homeless person. These guys aren't clearly not homeless.
So $5 gets you proxies you can pick each month. You move up from the common, uncommon, rare, mythic tiers. As you get higher up in the tiers, you can pick from foil proxies as well. Yep. The $100 or more lifetime active patrons do get the Garuk Dong shout out on the YouTubes. So
check that out.
We should probably have a new one new people coming in this month. So check that out as well, because we give a new shout out to everybody. I didn't write that down, so it'll be on next cast. So I apologize. Because it's the 28th. Technically, when we're recording, this is the 28th. Yeah, that's true. So we're not in the next month.
It's going to be okay.
All right, so that is the free way to support the show. That's the free way. That's the money way to support the show. Now we're on to the free way
to support our show is give us money.
Give us money. That's free for us, right? I guess we can. Oh, it's gonna be a fun cast. All right, the free way to support the show.
We just lost two more. Just lost two more.
And subscribe. That is all you have to do. If that's the least thing you want to do, that's the best thing. Just subscribe. That's all you have to do there. But we have a ton of videos that are popping up on there. We have the game nights that we've been doing.
What?
Not game nights. God damn it! I just fucking stole shit.
What the shit was that? How was it?
Oh, son of a bitch. The game day.
Does he still do that?
Or I don't know. I haven't listened to the cast since we started this.
I only
cast,
knew
so
it because you made fun of it 2 years ago.
Well, because it was like I think the big thing was the You Rock thing is what they used to do. I don't know if they still do that after we got a patron. You Rock.
Oh, that was a good bit for a while too.
And then we turned it into meat.
We entertain ourselves. I enjoy that.
All right, so back to it. Subscribe. That's all you got to do on YouTube. But if you really want to, you can watch tons of videos that we have going on, tons of different segments we have going on. Not segments, just tons of bits going on. One of them is the gameplay stuff that we just had this weekend. That's kind of new to everything. We have box openings. We have pack cracking. We have secret layer openings. We have the Breakpoint videos, which I did do last week, so check that out. That's the Breakpoint video. Curated MTG is a bi-weekly
two for one.
Two times a week.
It's short.
2 times a week. And what was this last week's? Last week or
Monday was
Monday?
Okay. So today's was Curse of the Swine working with Hinata, Essex.
That's just a fantastic card in general.
Hinata's crazy.
Because wait, back it up. What it was with the Curated is if you have Hinata out and you play that, you board wipe pretty much. Yeah. Besides your
You're
stuff,
creating a bunch of 2/2 boars.
Yeah. So you just for 2.
Oh,
for 2.
Hey, number 2.
Do we want to talk about Friday's Volcanic Offering?
What is Friday's? Oh, last week Friday? Yeah.
So the Volcanic Offering has like a kind of a weird thing because there aren't many cards that like it's like you target a creature, deal it 7 damage. An opponent targets a creature that deals 7 damage, and then you target
Okay, that was confusing as shit. Okay, explain all this part right here.
Okay, and then you can choose a non-basic land that you don't control, and then an opponent targets a non-basic land that an opponent controls. And so what can happen is there's 4 targets in that. With Hinata in play, if everybody chooses targets that are different, it's 1 red to do all that. Super great value.
So, but my question is like, how does that work out? Because you have to pay the mana before that spell is cast.
Correct.
Right?
But there are actually apparently 10 steps before you even pay the mana to cast it. Before it ever gets to the stack, there's 10 different things that happens. And choosing targets is one of them. So
are you serious?
Yes.
Before the spell is even actually cast?
Before you're spending mana, before its cast enters the stack, you go, okay, this card has 4 different targets and you are involved in this. I'm going to choose this and this. You're going to choose whatever you want.
So at that point, they're seeing the card before you even have tapped them on.
Correct.
And you got this from a judge, right?
Correct.
Holy balls, you need to make a new video just explaining this part. I'm serious. Like
I don't even understand
crazy.
it. That's why
I didn't even realize that this was the thing. Like, and so I thought that the mana had to be tapped, and then you reveal the card to everybody, and then that's when you do all the stuff.
And so what
you're saying
what can happen is it's a variable cost. And so it could be one, but if that opponent chooses both of the same targets that you choose, which they can, then there's only 2 targets that have been happened
so it's only -2 off of
the and so it's
cost.
3 mana to cast it. Still fairly good, it's still good value.
So my question is, what if you can't cast it at that point?
It goes back into your hand, and you can do it again and again and again and be super annoying. It's slow play, and everybody could get pissed at you.
Wait, so you can keep because you're not spending your mana at that point. You're going, all right.
Yeah.
Let's do that again. Do you want to choose different targets?
Yes.
Nope. Okay, let's do it. So you can basically do an infinite loop at this point.
Yep, of doing nothing. Because you're not spending mana, you're not moving the game forward. You're just sitting there going, like, not having.
All right.
So if you're in a situation where a judge could come over, you would be nailed for slow play. The ways out of this is either wait until you have the mana, like a normal person, non-psychotic, or you can.
I am only gonna pay 2.
Or you can try and politics your way out of it, which I think is the more interesting way of doing it. It could be fun.
Go to one person, be like, "This is what I'm gonna choose."
Yeah.
You choose this, and they go, "Nope," and then you go to the next person. Well, they didn't choose what I wanted, so I'm gonna do this here, and just keep going around the table.
Yeah.
And then those 3 people go, "Nope, I'm not choosing wrong." Then you go again all the way around.
So it could be, it could be interesting, but it's a very weird situation because normally opponents don't get to target what your cards do, right?
That's crazy.
And so it's a little wild, and I'm glad that I got to explain it here because I was at 55 seconds. Every time I shot that curated video for Volcanic Offering, I was at like a minute and a half. I'm like, God damn it. There's so much going on. It's so hard to shorten it.
I watched the video and I was like, I hear what he's saying, but I don't get it. Like I think you almost need to just do one just to explain that part. That's crazy. I didn't realize that you could actually do that. That you're
and I got there's a lot of discussion. I saw it on Twitter. I don't know who brought it up at this point. And then number 2 helped out on the Discord, and then I was talking on the Exiled Discord. So there's a lot of discussion going on trying to figure out what actually happened. And so that is how I understand it. And there might be more technicalities when it comes to like judges and rulings and stuff like that, but that's the bare bones basics of what's going on.
That's crazy. You guys can check that video out. That was last week's curated.
Yeah, last Friday.
And that's insane. That is insane. Okay, so that is twice a week we got curated MTG. We also, like I said already, we do the pack openings and all that. Battle boxes also, we have that where Larry got his butt kicked the last time we did it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Don't bring up my box that I opened, Larry.
Oh, you mean that awful waste of money? I won't bring that up.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. And then also Proxy Time. Proxy Time has been on hiatus for 3 weeks because things have been happening. Because we played games last weekend, we had a release weekend, and just all that fun stuff. Super Bowl the week before that. So I am hoping that it's jumping back on board next week. But that is live on Sundays at 7:30.
Yeah.
I believe that is it. There's a bunch of videos. The biggest thing is if you listen to our cast and you want to hear more of Lowery and Adam, subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel because you'll get to see more of us and doing wacky, crazy stuff. Yeah.
Okay, kill him.
Thank you, Larry. All right. You guys can also follow us on Twitter. You guys can direct message us there, vote on stuff, see all the stuff that we post, anything that we do, like YouTube-wise or whatever. Cards we get in the mail. I did get a Card Sphere order today, which is awesome because I don't get a lot of those.
Foily lands.
Because I sell a lot of stuff. Yeah, foil lands,
They look gorgeous.
They're right here. These suckers are awesome. These foil full art lands from the Kamigawa set.
Yeah.
Neon Dynasty.
Yep.
Oh, sexy. So that is Twitter. And then you can also direct message us, not direct message us. You guys can shoot us an email at CommanderSmiths@gmail.com. And that is where you can send the suggestions for this. It's time for everyone's favorite game show, Stump the Smith Savant. All right, if you guys don't know how this game works, I'm going to read the flavor text of a card, and Lowery is going to try to guess the card by asking yes or no questions. Every yes, he'll hear this.
Hello, boobies.
Every no, he'll hear this.
Wrong, 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 wrong.
He gets up to 5 of these
Wrong, 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 wrong.
before our stumper is considered the winner. And like I said earlier, the prize that is on the line is these 2 cards right here. We have a Sword of Feast or Hearth and Home foil
Feast and
retro.
Famine?
Feast
What
and
do you
Famine,
think
yes,
we're-
sorry.
we're rich?
A damaged from Card Kingdom Temple Garden, and we can sign that if you guys want that. So that is the prizes on the line. This week we have Andy S. from the Discord who is trying to stump Lowery.
Let's see this.
Every card has to have at least 5,000 EDH rec decks. If Lowery can name everything about the card but the name of the card itself, he will get a bonus clue of the initials of the card. I will give 3 clues, and that is it. All right, here we go. His mind whirled with grand plans, never thinking of what might happen if he were to succeed. His mind whirled with grand plans, never thinking of what might happen if he were to succeed.
I think I've heard this one. I've at least... It's a good one. It's a good one. All right. I want to say that it's a spell. I don't think it's a creature. It might be a creature. He... Never thinking about what would happen if he succeeded.
His mind
Maybe it's
whirled with
random?
grand plans, never thinking of what might happen if he were to succeed.
That could go either way. Okay, so I couldn't nail down a color off of that. I couldn't nail down, like, it either feels like a creature or like an instant or sorcery of something like having that cast and succeed, and then you don't know what's really going to happen. So maybe something random, which could be red. Red's kind of random.
Starts with an R.
Yeah. Is that a... And red and random start with R's. I'll bet you the car starts with R.
I like the way this guy thinks.
This is dumb. All right. I should make a get.
You don't have to.
I don't have to. I
know
think
that's what you've been trying to do.
trying to do it.
But if you can't get one off of that, don't force yourself to do it.
Let's
don't
go
have
with a
an
clue,
inclination.
please. Let's
Okay.
go with a clue.
The art features Magic's version of Frankenstein. The art features Magic's version of Frankenstein. I know. I have to make things harder when I
Okay.
feel like things are easier.
So I don't know. Because there's Frankenstein's monster.
I knew that's where you would get hung up. Because I know you're thinking, is he mean Frankenstein or does he mean Frankenstein's monster?
Yes, that's exactly what went through my head.
I know.
Are you
I know.
thinking
That's,
of
I knew.
Because
I know,
Frankenstein
that's
is
what you're-
not the monster.
I know what you were thinking.
Because I
And
totally
I probably shouldn't have said
didn't
more.
read that in school. I mean, I was supposed to, but I was too
I didn't
cool
either.
for that shit.
So the art features Magic's version of Frankenstein.
That's... All right. All right. So this does make me feel like it's a creature, but it could still be a spell. But it makes me feel like, you know, it's at least, I think I know who it is, but like I can't, it's evading my brain right now. But let's say, like, is this card a creature card?
Hello, boobies.
Okay. Is this creature a legend?
Wrong, 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 wrong.
His mind whirled with grand plans, never thinking of what might happen if he were to succeed. It is a creature. The art features magic's version of Frankenstein. In my opinion, I should say.
Did Andy confirm this clue? Is this his or is this yours?
No, that's all my
I still
clues.
don't trust this. Okay. So Frankenstein.
You know what you're saying there is you're like, Adam doesn't know the difference between Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monsters. What you're trying
I
to
don't
say.
even
And
trust that
actually,
it's even
the
has
funny
anything
thing
to
is
do with
there's-
Frankenstein.
there's- all right. You'll find out if you get to clue 3. I give you a bigger hint where I know what I'm fucking talking about.
Okay, fine. Okay, so is this card from an Innistrad block, or would it have been from an Innistrad block? Like, it could be like a commander auxiliary set, but the character, the theme is from the Innistrad plane.
Hello, boobies.
Okay. All right. So then at that point, like, it's not green, it's not white. Frankenstein, their zombies is black and blue. And that would be or blue and red. Could be black, blue, red. I don't know why they went red. But I'm assuming it's Ludwig at this point. Is it blue and or black and or red? So any combination of those colors.
So like if it's one of those colors?
If it's 1 or 2 or 3.
Hello, boobies.
It's in that range. So not green, not white. Let's.
Yeah, you have a second clue if you want. You've done some guessing.
Do I have a second clue? I thought I was.
You haven't done a second clue. I'm saying you have a second clue to do.
Well, I'm making some.
You're trying to guess. You're trying to be all badass with it.
Can I hear the flavor text again?
His mind whirled with grand plans, never thinking of what might happen if he were to succeed.
It's not a legend, though. It's not a legend. Okay. I'll take the second clue, please.
The text features something that normally will kill you, but with this, it's the opposite.
What?
The text features something that normally would kill you, but in this, it's the opposite. There are reasons why I have to do everything so cryptic with all this.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
There's too much giveaway.
That's all right.
If I say too much. This was tough to like do clues to not just be like,
Land Maniac.
you fucker.
Yeah,
Hello,
got it.
boobies.
You
Got
fucker.
it.
God damn it.
Oh, that was
See?
that was good.
Frankenstein, bastard. You doubted me. This is Frankenstein. It's not Frankenstein's monster. He's the Frankenstein.
Was it Ludwig
Nope.
in that picture?
It's Laboratory Maniac. So he's the one that's doing the stuff. I'm not saying it's Frankenstein. It's the professor or whatever.
Yeah,
He's-
you're right. Okay.
He's the
yeah,
human
yeah,
wizard.
yeah.
So it's
I don't
not
know if
the
that's specifically like. I think Ludwig is based on Frankenstein.
Oh well, no. I was
'Cause
just
he's like-
going off
he's
of
a
my
s-
opinion of what he looks like.
But it
I'm
might
like,
be Geralf that I'm thinking of too.
I have no idea what it's. My perception of him is that he is. He is. I wanted to say there was so much stuff. I was like, I wanted him to be like a professor, or I was like a maniac or mad scientist. That's what I wanted to use. But I was like, fuck,
You can't do
mad
that.
scientist has maniac in it. And I'm like, that doesn't
Can't
work.
do that.
This is tough.
Oh, that'd
to
be
do
tough.
for fucking clues.
That'd be real tough.
And then as for the like text, I didn't want to be like drawing cards and you win the game on the. I'm like, God, that gives it away
Yep.
so much. So actually, the third clue was this card is in 34,000 EDH rec decks. It was printed in Innistrad and is not Frankenstein's monster. So that's why I said the third. Because I knew you were gonna be like,
Wouldn't
does
help.
Adam know
Would have helped.
that Frankenstein isn't the one that's the green guy or
No,
whatever?
is he?
Is he gonna get it? I got you. Good job. All right. So, Andy, if you want, it's a little expensive card.
No.
Send us some basic lands with Lab Maniac on it. Just write it on there.
I'd say just
sign your name.
draw the picture. I know you're.
Oh, yeah,
I know
draw
you're an
the
artist.
line. Yeah. And then send that 2 of it to us, and we will have that posted. I'll give the shout outs. Lair did his already. There's my 3 from 2.
2.
Because the other one's from Gwen when we had our 200th episode. Yes. So yeah, you'll make a feature on the wall, and eventually Lowery's little white wall right there will have cards sitting there. Maybe that beautiful thing right there. Yeah. All right, now we move on to the main segment. What are we? You're like Vanna White with How many beers in are you? Are you just 2? 2?
Yeah, I'm kind of just starting my 3rd.
I don't have a button for this one.
What? Oh,
well, how about this one? Secret.
Stop.
Secret layer.
Yeah, that works. That works. I mean, it could have just been a good
Hello,
old.
boobies.
Could have been that. I love how when you put the work into a new button, you just like press it. You're like, this
I
works.
love to play, especially when I get compliments on it during the week. Then I'm like, yeah, it is a good button. I'm going to play the shit out of it.
Positive reinforcement is the best way to get
It
what
works.
you want out of this.
It works. I'm crying. I don't know why. Yeah. I think like Travis was like, I can't get over that. And Jacuzzi was like, I love the whispering and all that. I was like, I went back and like played it by myself in my room, just like, yeah.
Smoke some weed.
Yeah. This is really good shit, man.
Just a 10-second loop in there for 4 hours.
Does anybody want the soundtrack? I can get you guys that. It's like you're studying music.
You're in college.
Yeah,
what are you
that's
listening to? This dude's whispering my ear.
I didn't expect to cry off of all this.
What are we doing?
All right.
No, that's good stuff.
All right. So the main segment here. My eyes are all watery.
Whew.
So we are going to talk about banned cards in Commander.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about, first off, 3 each. On each of us are going to talk about 3 that we picked out that we have replacements for, and kind of discuss why those continue to be banned, but then have the replacements for them. And then we have 2 cards afterwards that we think could catch an unban or should be unbanned. Just our opinion of what we think, why they should be unbanned. So, Lowery, why don't you start us off with your first card that has some replacement stuff for it.
Okay. Excuse me.
Yes.
All right.
agree.
So, there's a card in the past that I have said that could be unbanned. I still think that. But Gifts Ungiven, 3 colorless blue instant. You get to go search for up to 4 cards, and then an opponent gets to choose which cards go into the graveyard.
Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards, put the chosen cards in the graveyard, the rest in your hand, then shuffle your library. Instant card for 4.
Yeah. So they have to choose 2. And so oftentimes this is kind of just like combo central. And I get that.
So the reason why is you're basically choosing 4 cards that all of them are combo, right?
Well, you could just
pretty much
choose 2 that work in the graveyard.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
And so those automatically go to the graveyard and they just work together. Or you could choose, like you're saying, 4 and it just kind of works. I think it's soft. Like, it's 4 mana. Like, it is a tutor. You're getting 4 cards. There's a lot going on there. So, like, it's questionable. I think it could come off mainly because of the card that I would say is replacement, but Intuition allows you to go and get 3 cards. And 1 into your hand, 2 into the graveyard. And there's a reserve list. It is now $130 at this point. But
Go get it.
Wasn't when we have talked about this in the past. And so, but there's also cards that just like put cards into your graveyard, or tutors. It's kind of a weird tutor. It's kind of like a graveyard tutor. There's Entomb, but like another card that's like it is Gerard's Orders, which is green black, 2 colorless. It's a sorcery, so it's much, much worse. But you get to go put 2, find 2 creatures, put 1 into your hand, 1 into the graveyard. So you can kind of play off of that. I think there's enough stuff that works. Like, Gifts Ungiven is really, really good.
Yes.
But without it, you can still kind of do stuff.
Similar things.
Like, it's really a black effect, and it's in blue, so I can see it being like color shifted. I still think it could probably come off, but that's not the point of this one. That's just my opinion. And
I agree that it probably could come off with that too as well. I mean, would this be better if it said you had to choose 4 cards instead of the up to?
I think sorcery would probably make it playable.
That's a good point. Intuition, by the way, $184 at this point.
Jesus.
I'm regretting not picking that one up
I found 2 or 3 of those for 20 cents a piece.
Oh shit! I'm not even on the right button. Get back! Get back!
Do I have that?
Oh, good.
Good for you.
Wow,
Good
it's
for
everywhere.
you.
Everywhere. Yep.
I forgot when you hit the button again, it cuts it off. So that's why I had to do it all the way through. That's good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you still have that one? I'll trade you.
Absolutely not going to trade you.
I'll trade you that.
Tempting.
Keldon Warlord.
Yeah,
it is
weakness.
signed by Mr. Lowery Smith right there. The signed one, dude.
I wouldn't mind his signature.
I'll trade you. Fair trade.
No.
Dude, it's the same amount. We paid 40 cents for this.
Yes. How about I trade you Intuition for my guy's Cradle back?
Fair trade. Done. Deal.
Because you got that for like $5.
Yeah, something like that. When Keldon Warlord, was it ever worth that much?
Yeah, Scry doesn't lie. That's our tag.
You with your
underneath
rhymes.
it.
Yeah, it's great.
Scry, you should hire me. I can do some writing for you.
Well, that's why they went under, because they didn't have you, because they needed that slogan. Look at that, you came up with it, drinking booze and on a podcast.
That's how the podcast exists as well.
They went 15 years without having that on their fucking cover, and now they're gone.
Yep.
It's
It's
because everything's digital. All right, I agree. I like
What's your next one? What's your first one?
First one.
Yeah.
What am I doing first?
We are us. It's fine.
Shit, you know what's funny is I pulled all your cards
My
up, so
stuff?
I'm just gonna go off of. Let's start with Primeval Titan.
Yeah.
Primeval Titan just has a special place in my heart because I cheated with it for so long.
You did.
Because there was so.
You did.
I just remember I kept playing with it and being so stubborn, and you're like, that card's banned in Commander. I'm like, I don't fucking care about ban shit. I kept playing it, and then finally we're like, all right, we're following, because I wasn't following stuff like that at that time. It was just like, we're playing Commander. I don't care what's banned and what's not banned. I'm just playing what I want to play. It's a great card. It comes into play.
Really good.
You get to search for 2 lands. It's not basic lands.
Any lands.
That could be one way to fix that card. And then also, when it attacks, you also get to go search for 2 lands. Any lands. And it is whatever.
But it's fair because they come into play tapped.
Right. So my replacements of this, there's a couple of them. Actually, one is a very new card, which I think could work pretty well. It doesn't do the same thing that Primeval does, but kind of can. But it's Kodama of the West Tree, so that's off of the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. This is on attacks, so it's for each attacking creature that goes through, and I'm going to double
deals
check
damage.
that before
I think it has to
deals damage, combat damage. I'm going to make sure. Kodama of the West Tree. So it's for each modified. Oh, that's where it is. That's where the difference is. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage to player, search your library for a and it's basic. So
it's not as good.
What? That's good. Put on battlefield, tap, then shuffle. You could get more with more creatures. Are you about to show it off that you have it?
It's beautiful. It's going in
my
it's going in my Kestia deck. It's going to get me all sorts of land.
Can I tell you?
No.
That was supposed to go in my Kaima deck, and I assumed I was gonna get it because I opened a fucking collector box
and a set box.
I opened a fucking set box. I opened a fat pack.
There's so many cards that you still need.
I did not get that fucker.
I bought that as a single.
Oh, good for you. All the single ladies. All the single.
It just sounds like a robot. It doesn't sound like a
the other that one
a
did female voice.
No, but I get it. Okay, you got
Ubenwald Hydra is the other one. That's the best comparison to Primeval Titan.
Probably.
But that's just on a ETB effect, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so that doesn't. Primeval Titan just is so good, and I love it, and I want it to come back.
How about this? You know how they did like Painter Servant? They made that, they unbanned it, but then banned that angel. How about, would you take?
No. You're gonna say Gaia's Cradle. No.
You wouldn't?
Get out of here. No, I like Gaia's more because the story behind it is so much more epic.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't matter at that point.
No. Gaia's Cradle stays. Fucking Primeval can stay the fuck away.
Wow.
But I love it still nonetheless. It's the reason why that card is just ridiculous is because the ETB. If you took away one of the two, if it just did it on ETB, it'd still be a ridiculous card.
And
if you did it on the attack, still a great card. I think the attack is more fair, especially since you're searching for any land card instead of a basic, or if you just added in basic. If it just said
potentially,
basic.
And I think if I'm remembering correctly, the main thing was this had like the Emrakul effect of just like it was a race to play it. It was it warped the format. Everybody was playing green with Titan, and
that makes sense. You're ramping, try to get it out, get your 2 lands. next
you're
turn
just
attack
going-
with it,
yeah.
get it 4 land. You're way ahead at that point.
Yep. And so it was just like it became a game that revolved around Primeval Titan. So I get it. Has it been weakened from like power creep over the last 10 years at this point?
Maybe.
But it'd still be like
Maybe.
in every
It's still
fucking
really-
green deck, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like-
if you don't have, that's a 6 drop mana ramp, but you get the best mana.
Yeah, just
in
like
play.
ETB, like Yarok's around now. How fucking awful would
Hmm.
that be? Like, or Panharmonicon, or like they've added cards that make it super good too.
I know we didn't like talk about this ahead of time with stuff, but is there
do.
a point that this is how this sort of works? Is there a point that I actually thought about this while kind of preparing for all this? Is there a point that these cards, because of power creep, no longer are that good? Not saying that good, but where it doesn't matter as much. You know what I'm saying? That by the time they unban them, if they do, that the power creep is so high that really just filters in with the normal release card. You know, like, cause
I mean, like it depends on how long we're talking of a time frame.
Because I guess what I'm getting at is like when we get into the second part of this segment is when we start, like I've spec'd on a few of these cards, actually.
Sure.
Even under my third card that I talk about, I've spec'd on that one. But I'm like, at some point, does that spec become bad? Because even if they unban it, the power creep is so high that that card is no longer like, not necessarily like good, but it's not going to be like format breaking. You know what I'm saying? Do we ever get to that point?
I do a podcast. I'm not going to take a strong stand on any of this. No, if you're getting to that, like Magic's just a very different game. Like power creep wise, like, is it going to be playable? Is that what you're saying? Like it gets so, like everything gets so
think it'll always
wild that
be
it becomes
playable.
less, like not even playable. I don't think that happens. But I
I
mean,
mean-
there could be a point where like it becomes even with the playing field.
And
That I
do
don't
they wait
disagree with.
wait until it's past that? You know, when do they, if they unban it, do you wait until it's past that point where it's like it's lower than the playing field? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. So like, and we might get to this. I was gonna say this in the unbannable parts.
Yeah,
but-
no, I'm gonna
So we're getting into that
blow
right
my
now.
load
But
on
I
that,
think
so.
I think I see Shivam and Dana Roach both say this part, and I think it's the best way to think about unbannings. I really like it. Doesn't matter if it's a card that can be unbanned, like power level wise or whatever, but having it come back into the format, is it going to make Commander better? And if your answer's like, well, it'll make me happy, like it is something. How do you make one of these cards that was so abusive? Like, is there going to be a point where Emrakul is like, oh, that's a fine card, like, oh, that's way down the line, and then if it does come in, it just like becomes ho hum, or
Think of that,
Primeval Titan,
where we're
like,
at with that.
no. But like, if we're to that point, like, does it matter then either? Like, you wouldn't care if it's banned or unbanned because it's not good enough at that point, right?
I'm so and this is now turning into something that this is where we weren't expecting. This is the CommanderSmiths way. I'm against having I want as little bans as possible is how I feel about stuff. If you have somebody in your group that is trying to be oppressive and that's the way they play and they want to try to find the most broken stuff, they're going to do that any way possible. It doesn't matter what card. And if that's the way they're playing, you're not gonna play with that person if your group doesn't like them. You know, like
you got to have
playing
that
way.
talk. If you have that I can agree with you here. Like, should cards be banned? And if somebody's going to play a terrible way that isn't fun for the rest of the people and they all hate it, then you should be talking with that person and being like, hey, that's really shitty to play against, whatever it is. Not
Right.
talking to Stacks players, but I am. But if it's a problem within your group,
Counterspell.
you should.
Just kidding.
There's another number 2.
Hey, number 2.
But at the same time, like, you can do that. We can play Stacks. We can play mass land destruction. We can cheat shit out super quick. We can have infinite mana super fast. Like, we have all that stuff.
Right.
And so where is this threshold that we're talking about? And I do think, like, Primeval Titan is really, really, really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that. I think there's, like, much more egregious cards on this list in comparison. You know, I think Channel should probably just be forever banned. That makes sense to me. You know what I mean?
I'll be
Fast
honest
Spawn.
with you.
Like,
I looked at it. Yeah. I was like, oh, this one is it. Yeah, this one's really bad. Because if you have fucking, Remnant Excavator out, Crucible of Worlds, and you have a Strip Mine, it's just like boop, 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 just destroy everybody's land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
That's
and so it's just kind of like, it's hard. It's super hard. The rules committee has a ton of respect from my hand, because I look at those cards and I go, yep, I can see all of them, and I can see other cards being banned. Wink. And
foreshadowing.
and so okay. So we're through 2 cards so far.
We are at an hour. I remember I was thinking that this podcast was going to be very short, and it is not.
That's all right. So I'm gonna go with replacements for Yawgmoth's Bargain or Grizzlebrand, and they're both like pay life to draw cards. They're both black, and they're both banned. And a big thing is you have a ton of life in Commander, and gaining
that's the big
that much card advantage for drawing cards is crazy. Like, it's crazy. And I totally get why those 2 cards are banned. And then you can kind of go like, Necropotence is the replacement. It's such a good card. It's a $40 card at this point. And I think
look at you telling everybody to buy these $40 and $180 cards.
It's such a fucking
it's a good replacement.
Card. But the reason why it works and it's not going to get banned, number one, it's, the mana 3 black right off the top. It's an enchantment. But this ruined Standard back during Ice Age, like back when Standard was just starting as a thing. Everybody's like, this is awful. This is awful. Why are we doing this? And the other thing is those cards don't go into hand until end of your turn.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, you can't just like draw, oh, I'm going to pay a life, or, pay 7, draw 7. I'll do it again. You don't get to see the cards coming in. You're going like, okay, I can afford this much. You still got to discard down to 7, I believe. And so, like, it slows everything down quite a bit. You could still be playing, instant speed, counterspells, or, you could still combo at instant speed or whatever you need to do. But having to wait until your end step to get those cards in a hand is, I think, a big difference between just incremental getting a card into your hand. So that, and then they even have like the new Asmodeus, the Devil God from D&D set over the summer, like similar thing. And so like they could do that kind of thing, but they're learning how to do it. Even Phyrexian Arena is a different version of that. Paying life, drawing cards, stuff like that. But I think it's when you can do it on command when you have so much life.
Pay 1 life. Yeah.
That's where the problem comes into play, and I get it. And Grizzlebrand is banned because it's a legend. As your commander, it's just kind of broken. There's enough rituals in black to just go boom, 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 draw, draw, draw. And it becomes a crazy, crazy deck.
I think it should be unbanned.
You
have to pay 7 life, though.
I get it. Oh, 7? Whole 7?
You have to pay 7 life.
Whole 7?
7 life. You can't just do one at a time.
That's true.
Like Yawgmoth.
But you get 7 cards.
Yes. I think Yawgmoth's more broken than Grizzle. But Grizzle gives you the life link so you can gain it back. That's the part that's
just a little bit.
Yeah, it gets you back.
But I mean, instant speed too. You could wait until it's an opponent's turn, and right before your turn, you can be like, I'm going to go down to 5 and fill up with 30 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
And then just go to town.
Yeah. The thing with Necropotence too is like you mentioned, it's at the beginning of your end step.
Yeah.
Your next end step. So you can't go up to like 30 cards because you have to discard down to 7. So it's still hitting you for that stuff. So
yeah.
All right. My second one is, I guess I'll go with let's go with Prophet of Kruphix. It's just, I like this card though. I really want this one unbanned.
No,
but
it's not going to. It's two really, really good cards.
Yes.
Combined.
So we already have.
And the crux of it is it's green and blue.
Which are fantastic colors together.
They
do things that are
If this was a
amazing.
black, or if this was a red and white card, not banned.
Yeah. Right. That's like the perfect.
I mean, it doesn't fit thematically.
Okay, really?
That's
all you got to do to change this card. Just flip it over to red. Just be like, you know what? We are going to errata this text, and instead of it being green-blue, it is now white and red.
If it was red and white, then they'd be like, you can only play at sorcery speed.
Right.
Tap all your stuff at the end of your turn.
And you can only untap one thing at the end of every.
You stacks yourself. Only during your turn, you can untap one thing. That's how that works. That's a Boros commander right there. Non-combat. Everybody wants that, right?
So the obvious things is Seedborn Muse is the one side of untapping and everybody's upkeep. And then you got either Leyline Anticipation. There's a bunch of cards that you can play.
Alchemist Refuge was something that you brought up earlier. Yeah. And so I think that's a really good card in there too.
Winding Canyons is another one that you can do. But Alchemist Refuge fits within the blue-green realm of that. And it's any card.
I think there's a ton of cards that just go with untapping or flash. Like there's a ton of cards in there.
But they're not on the same card.
Yeah.
You have to have 2 cards. Yeah. The problem with this card is that it's one card built in on one. Yeah.
That's awful.
I do want this one. I will be honest with this. I did buy some
I did too.
Foils, promo ones of these for only like 75 cents. I have like 20 of them, whatever. Because it's just like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't. And actually, since I bought it, it's gone up in price.
Yep.
I've sold a couple of them.
But I don't think that's coming off the ban list.
No, it's not going to come out the ban list. It's just a good card. What is your last one for replacement cards?
Panoptic Mirror. So this is an artifact where you can pay X, tap it.
This doesn't make sense. Why is this one?
Okay. You pay X, tap it, and exile an instant or sorcery from your hand. And then during your upkeep, you can play whatever one of them. You can choose one of them for free and play it. Now,
that seems fine.
This is banned because of extra turn cards. Because you just continue to take extra turns.
So what you're telling me is blue players take advantage of this card.
Yeah,
and make
they
this
do.
douchey.
They're jerks. Yeah.
Hey,
do you have it pulled up right now?
Yes, I do.
Does it say that you have to pay the imprint cost like at any turn?
Okay, so it says that the X imprint. You may exile an instant or sorcery card with mana value X from your hand. That's the imprint part. Beginning your upkeep, you may copy a card exiled with it. If you do, you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost.
And so you can pay that X at the end of somebody else's turn, right before yours, so that they don't know you're just going to go infinite turns. And you can do it multiple times. And so I think the obvious one that's very similar is it's Isokron's Scepter. and that's comes into play. Imprint instant of 2 or less, CMC 2 or less, and that goes in infinite on its own. You know, with
other certain things.
an instant.
But a lot of times you're just doing like removal spells, like paths.
That's the way.
No,
we play fair. That's how we play it. But yeah, dramatic entrance is just infinite mana, infinite everything. Like that just happens.
Douches. You all are douches.
Yep. But there's also kind of a cool card, much worse, much worse. But it's Kaho Minimo Historian. And when it comes into play,
look this one up.
Yeah, look it up because there's a lot going on. I wouldn't mind if you read it.
All right, so this guy, when it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 3 instant cards and exile them. Then shuffle your library. This is for 4. And it is a legendary creature human wizard for 2/2. So you can tap X and tap it. You may cast a card with converted mana cost X, exiled without paying its mana cost. Okay. So you get to search.
It's kind of like a tutor.
Yeah.
And it's also like imprinting those cards onto your Kaho, whatever it is. And so I find it like interesting. It's not nearly as good, like I said. But it's, it's not free, but it's tutoring up instants or sorceries, just removal, kind of like Isakron Scepter, and then you're casting them for cheap or whatever you need at that point. You don't agree with me?
No. It is.
You see it?
No, I'm just saying, like, the part that sucks is this can be a commander because it's legendary.
Yeah.
Like, this could be that's a pretty good comparison.
Okay.
Because you get to go search for, but it's instant cards.
Yeah. But like you said,
So
it's a commander,
not
so you
gonna-
could kind of do it. And
But
also,
you're not going to hit those extra turn ones, though.
No, you're not.
they're
Well,
all
there's a
sorcerers.
couple. There's Nexus of
Pretty
Fate.
much. Yeah, I guess.
But the other problem here is that once you cast it, you've actually cast it, and I believe it goes into your graveyard. But Nexus of Fate gets shuffled in, and so you can have Kaho die, recast it.
that's a good
Sounds like work.
comparison.
Sounds like work. So I think Panoptic Mirror makes sense why it's banned.
Yeah.
And I think it could be fun if they developed replacements for it a little bit more. If that makes sense. Like, because this is kind of like a copy effect. There's tons of copy.
But the Scepter does the very similar thing, but fair.
Yep. I think that's pretty fair. I agree. So I think it's interesting. I think they should develop the replacements a little bit more for it. So then it's not like, why is this banned?
Mhm.
Just like make it more fair. Like if you had something on Panoptic Mirror that said nobody can take extra turns on it, and then everything else, like it's fine.
Then it's totally fine.
Like an Ugin's Nexus.
Just this, hey, fucker, don't take extra turns, you bastard blue player.
Yeah, stop being a jerk.
If you are a blue player, you cannot use this card.
Hey, number 2.
It basically, so it's 5 mana cost is 1 colorless and 4 other colors that isn't blue.
Yes.
Then you're fine.
I think that works. We could do that.
Because the red, you'd still the extra turns is normally losing the game at the end of turn, so that still takes effect there. Yeah, so just exclude blue and we're all good.
We're good.
We just pissed off a lot of people. All right.
What's your last one?
Hi, number 2. My last one is one that just got banned from our tournament, and that is Hullbreacher.
Back Shadow.
Ocean Thief is the best comparison.
Yeah.
The best, and Narset Parter Veils is also a very good comparison. I don't think we said it from the beginning, right when this card got released. You were the first one when we talked about it on the cast to say, I just think this one's going to get banned, and that's why we didn't go in on that. That was never a spec because we just were like, this just seems like something.
It became one of the best hate cards out there, and blues, and if not the best ramp card out there.
That was our number 1 card by
insane.
far. Yeah, it was
just imagine if you had Smothering Tithe and then you tacked on nobody can draw extra cards. Well, that'd be a worse version. All right, hold on. I don't know how that works. That didn't. I know that it didn't work. Can you cut that?
Cut that.
Fuck it. Just all right.
It's just a good card.
It's so good.
The only thing that surprised me with that card is that they banned it so quick. Like we said, and we didn't say that we weren't doing a cast at the time, but the one I talked about earlier, the engine, what the fuck? Too much whiskey.
Paradox engine.
Paradox engine. From the get-go, we were like, that card's going to get banned. It's going to get banned. It took like fucking 3-4 years before that sucker got banned.
Yeah.
Hullbreacher, you from day one, like you're like, this is
bannable.
Like, in our discussions before we put it on our top 10, you're like, this is number 1, but I think you could get banned. And then we talked about it during the podcast. Go ahead and listen to that one. I don't remember what number it is, and I'm not going to tag it. I apologize, but it did win our saltiest card of our Salty 64.
I mean, it's okay. Like, how would we fix that? What would happen if you couldn't draw extra cards as well?
It'd be a little bit better. Hang on. I'm pulling it back up. I just was going off of memory. I have to look at how do we fix that card? Except for the first one. Instead, you create. Does Flash remove anything from that? I think Flash.
Yeah, that would help. More mana would help. 3. It became like the cheapest version of this.
Well, you said it was
to
Blue's best ramp.
Yeah.
And that it's totally true. Flash adding a little bit more mana, maybe making it 5.
5 sounds maybe right. It seems like they like playing around with this idea of not allowing players to draw extra cards in blue for some reason, because this is totally a white thing. White's version fucks you too, but the I think if they could find out whatever wording they need to, I don't know it, but if a player, you know how it's like if an opponent has you discard a card rather than if you discard this card, some effect happens. So like there's the green-white liege where it's like if it's discarded, it comes into play. If it's an opponent that has you discard that card. So if they can distinguish the difference between like me playing Hullbreacher and forcing everybody else to wheel, and then instead of you cast Hullbreacher and then they're on their brainstorm. You know what I mean? If they are drawing cards on their own accord, that I think makes it fair versus if they draw. So if they can figure out how to word that distinction, I think it becomes fixed. And I think they can do that effect more.
Yeah.
I just don't, because it seems like they're getting it wrong. Hullbreacher, Leovold, Narset doesn't seem right, but it doesn't have any other bonus with it. And Notion Thief seemed just enough to not be everywhere.
What if this was flipped over, like kind of what you were saying with the white? What if this was on red because it's talking about treasure tokens?
Well, I mean, right off the bat, red wouldn't have flash.
Well, you take the flash away, go flip it over to red, and what if it was it's still the same casting cost, but it's triple red?
It doesn't even. I think it just could be red, 2 colorless, no flash. I think it's fine.
And then it'd be fair?
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think, well, that is the wheel. That is the main wheel color.
Oh, too. Shit. Yeah, it is. Wheel
that's not good. That's not good. Hold on.
Holla. Yeah, I think white would probably be the best spot for it. Or green.
No. Stop fucking giving green shit. No. Okay, moving on. Unbannable cards.
An hour and 15 minutes into this, buddy.
This is fine.
We know how to do short casts. But so
sorry.
stupid. All right, wait, this is the part where I thought would go longer, and then the last part was supposed to go shorter.
I think this part's going to go shorter.
All right. All right.
Am I
So,
going
Lowery,
first?
what is your first unbannable card?
I'm going to do my least controversial version of this. Coalition Victory. It's Wooburg +3 colorless. I think it's 8 mana. I don't look at this shit. I
know I'm going off of memory and Coalition.
But if you have a card of each color and a
3 and 5, yes,
Yeah,
and
okay.
it's a sorcery.
and then if it's a land of each
You
type
win.
and a
Yep.
color, a permanent of each color, you win the game. And 8 mana and
That's
that
a lot of stuff to
restrictions.
do.
Yeah. And we have you win the game cards kind of all over the place now, and they're just work. This only goes in 5 color decks. Like, how many of them are there? This probably makes an easy one for sliver decks, right? But then after that, like, I don't know. But I think that idea of, does this make the format better?
It's a win con.
Yeah.
Like the hard part is, I think the hard part of it is that it's out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? There isn't like
If you're not
at
playing
the beginning of your
counterspells-
upkeep. Yeah, it's game
Well,
over.
I mean, you can cast removal, right? And get rid of, if they only have
Right.
one permanent of a certain color, try and get rid of it while it's on the stack, and then it kind of fizzles. Right?
Each basic land type is a little easier with duels and shocks and all that stuff. But I could see, I mean, it's work though. That's 8, 1 of each color and 3. And then you have to have these other stipulations, which really can be on just one creature. If you think about it, it could be just, an Ur-Dragon or something like that. And then there's your 5 colors.
Potentially.
But still,
Potentially.
that's out there. Your other basics, and then you're casting something for 8 that doesn't get countered or your creature doesn't get killed. That's a lot of work, and that's the thing. The game ends if no one's able to do anything, and then you start a new game. Like, I know that it's not a combo; it's just
And also
it's a win
being
con.
5 colors makes it very different from Primeval Titan, which is 1 color. Or Emrakul, which is 0, it's colorless. It can go everywhere.
Any color, any
So
deck.
it's that restriction makes it so that it's not going to pop up everywhere.
Yeah.
It will be it could be in a lot of 5 color, but I don't even know if it's going to be in a lot of the 5 color
But
decks.
the other thing is if you're going against a 5 color deck, and this is unbanned, you start to realize that you're like, hey, this dude has every basic land type and 4 out of the 5 creature colors here. They might have this card. We might need to address that. If you're good at realizing the board and what's out there, I would be looking at that and being like, oh, fuck.
Like
they
a
might be
Cyclonic
able to
Rift?
cast it.
Would it be as
Exactly. That is a very good point. They have 7 mana open and they're playing blue.
Consider Cyclonic
Rift is
Rift.
coming. Yeah, this is. So is this? I guess that's another question. Does that take the place of, like, do you want another card like that where it's like, oh, we have a 5 color? How often do we come across 5 color players?
right? I have
doesn't
one
happen.
5 color deck.
I don't have any anymore. So
I mean, it's something that you can do. You know what I mean? But there isn't really like a theme there.
yeah,
There isn't. I think people would do it for a bit and then kind of get bored of it.
that
But
really
if it seemed hard, like if it wasn't as consistent as it potentially could be, then it sticks around. But then if it's harder to do, it doesn't happen as much. You know what I mean? So I think it balances out. I think it'd be perfectly fine.
I agree. I think it's very risky to even do it. Like, think of that. You have 8 mana that you're doing that. In that process of you casting this, somebody could, like you said, destroy your creature, right?
Yeah.
So are you going to hold up another for a counter spell? You're going to hold up 2 more,
Maybe.
3 more for a
Maybe.
counter? Like, that's a lot of fucking mana. So if you can get it to happen,
I think
you win.
one thing that happens, way back, this has been banned for a long time, right? I don't know if it's been a time where I've been playing where it's been legal.
Yeah, I
And
didn't see it ever being higher than 50 cents. Well, now it's creeping. I think
because there's
people are getting
enough people here.
Yeah.
But the thing is like EDH used to be long games. It was battle cruiser. It was casting spells of, tooth and nail, turn after turn after turn, rather than like one and win.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it used to be. And so now that at 8 mana with those restrictions, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that seems perfectly fine. And so like at the time that it was banned makes sense. And unbanning it from now till whenever they hopefully do, that also makes sense. Like it just doesn't, I don't think it does much, but I think it also could do a lot. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like this one.
So,
I think your market speaks to that as well. I'll just say that because at the beginning of the year, it was under $1. Currently, it is over $2.
Sell. Nah.
All right.
What you got?
My first one is, and these are going to be kind of similar, not to what you just said, but like similar ideas of why I want these unbanned.
Yeah.
So Sway of the Stars, it is 8 and 2 blue, and it's each player shuffles his or her hand, graveyard, and permanents he or she controls into their library and then draws 7 cards. Each player life total becomes 7. The big thing with this is Worldfire unbanned last fall.
Yeah.
That does a similar thing. That one was 6 and 3 red. So that is 9. This is 10. What that did is everybody removed their hands, everything, whatever from the game. So it removed everything and then put everybody's life at 1. So it basically became Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the card, top of the library, whoever's going to get out first and then do 1 damage to somebody else and then win the game. This I feel is more fair. Like I honestly it turns into it goes, you cast 10. You cast 10 to do this.
Yeah.
And now you have this mini game going on. Everybody's life is not 40 anymore. Everybody goes down to 7. Restart the game. Worldfire just goes to who's going to be able to do 1 damage and kill everybody the quickest by getting their mana out. You're a red player. You're probably doing Tremors or whatever, do 1 damage to all players and all opponents and win the game. I don't know if it's Tremors, but there's a lot of red spells out there that you can do mass damage around the board.
Yeah. Like what? I don't know if I agree with the Worldfire unbanning personally.
Right.
Like,
because
I think it makes games worse. You know what I mean? That sounds awful. To just lose everything and go down to 1 life. But Sway the Stars seems better in that regard.
It seems more fair. It seems fun. It seems like a
new game.
Yeah. And you're paying 10. You're paying 10. Worldfire's 3 red and 1, it's 1 less. It's 9, but you're paying 10. And I see this one being unbanned before Worldfire was unbanned, is how I see it. Like you just said, you're giving everybody 7 new cards. Like everybody's getting 7 new cards. You're starting over at 7. Worldfire is eliminating everything and putting everybody's life at 1. And then it's like a race to
deal
who's
1 damage.
1 damage. This just seems like, this is cool. Let's see who can win the game with 7 life.
I agree. I think this one could come off. But okay, how many effects do we want like this? Where it's like resetting the game, right?
Well, I mean, we already have Karn that does a similar thing. I mean, Karn's
not going to go off. Come on, Planeswalkers.
Well,
suck.
no, I'm
We
just
know
saying,
that.
but Karn does a resetter. That's
It
a
does.
resetter.
But it's not a spell. But like you have, okay, reverse of what I just said. White and red both have plenty of things that just wipe everything. Dockle Hops, you have
Apocalypse.
Cataclysm, Apocalypse. Like, so there's plenty of cards that just wipe the fucking board.
Well, remember when I didn't have the mana to play Apocalypse and play Teferi's Protection, and I just was like, well, fuck it, I'm going to die. Apocalypse, everybody lose your shit. And then Tyson ended up winning.
Yeah.
Even though he was not in control of the board at that time, but he got the land, played the cards, and killed us both.
Yeah, that was sweet. Thanks.
Yeah. That's World Fire. That's World Fire right there. That is a fucking World Fire. At least Sway of the Stars, you're just starting. It's like you're starting a new Commander game. Yep. It's like what you would have done. Like basically think of the game is over, and now you're just starting this mini game, and you're just playing 7 Life.
And again, asking yourself, does this add anything to Commander? Like, would you put this in decks?
No, I won't.
I wouldn't either.
It has to fit
It's 10 mana.
It's 10 mana. It has to fit
mana.
Mana. We've already talked. Yeah, exactly.
Mana.
See how mana sounds so much more manly. Mana instead of you going mana.
Okay, fine.
That's for you, That's for you, Ibukaki.
Yep.
I mean, I book hockey.
No, that's so
hockey.
gross. So gross. So
Mana.
I agree with you. I can see that coming off.
All right. And was that the CAG one? I think CAG was actually talking about my next one, so we'll get to that. One of the CAG members, and that's what got me triggered on to specking on. So really quick thing on both of mine. I have spec'd on these because I think one, if not both of these, might be coming off pretty soon. Because this one especially. This one,
we just talk about it. Let's just do it.
It did spike. What? Talk about what? The other one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, really quick. Sway of the Stars did spike right as Worldfire came off. It has now come down because it didn't get unbanned, but everybody went after this because they're like, "Fuck, this one's going next." So foils, non-foils. If you're thinking this is going to happen, high specs. My other one is Biorhythm, and that is kind of a similar thing in a way. It's a big, huge spell, and hang on, I got to make sure I get this.
It resets the game at X amount of life.
Yeah, so it's 8 mana, so it's 6 colors, 2 green, another sorcery. Each player's life total becomes the number of creatures he or she controls.
Yeah.
So this was the one that one of the CAG members was discussing on Twitter like a month or so ago, and went with was giving back and forth with why she could see that it was banned, it could stay banned, why it could be unbanned, was taking both sides.
Yeah.
The big negative towards it was it's in green, it's in a ramp color. So that 8 is a lot easier to get. But at the same point, it's based on your creatures. You know, it's not, you don't know that you're going to have all that amount of creatures. And I think it's kind of fun. Like, it's a reset, but it doesn't necessarily kill.
Or it could.
It could, but it doesn't. Like, it seems like a fun twist for an 8 mana spell. When you get to, I wouldn't say 6, but 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, those should be game winner spells. Things that
at this
turn
point,
the game.
Green has this effect on a creature as well. I don't remember which one it was. But it's an activated ability. It's from the cons block. So yeah, that is also a thing. Like, you can do that. It's a replacement card. You can do that. But I think this one I'm probably less confident on.
Oh, really? Because I was about to say that because one of the CAG members was talking about it more.
They might have been pushing it, but the CAG is not the RC.
No. It's just the members.
Yeah. So
discussing.
They're discussing, and not saying that they might push for Biorhythm unbanned, but
she wasn't. She was trying to stay neutral with it, but she was just trying to have a discussion with it. And
just having that discussion shows that she is open to having the discussion of unbanning it.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, I can still see it. Like, it is weird for green to be able to be like, you don't have any creatures, you're dead.
Yeah. But situational though. Like that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But you can also just like, you could play that, you know, that none of your creatures are going to die and just like attack and have people have their creatures just get picked off and then cast it. And then it's like, I'm at 10, you're at 2, you're at 1, you're at 3. And like, so green has the bigger, stronger creatures.
Right.
They can go tokens. They can go,
But
you treat it like a Craterhoof Behemoth.
My thing with this is like, I feel like this one's more fair than like a Sorin that makes you pick on one person and drop them down to 10 life. You know, like this is like, it hits everybody, including the player that's casting it. You know, and it's 8 mana to do it. If you could set it up better as a green player.
If it had said they can't go, like it's one or their creatures, then I'd be all on board. But just like with a player not having creatures and they're just dead, I don't know if I like that. Even though I just said coalition victory wins you the game.
But that's the thing, is it knocks out a player. Like if it does. But the thing is, you're at 8 mana at that point, that late in the game, unless there's a board wipe, everybody should have creatures at that point, because then at that point you're looking at, if you don't have creatures, you're probably in big trouble at that point, unless you're playing a Mogus deck where you're not playing creatures. Like that's where it can hate on a little bit. Well, then fuck you, Mogus, because play creatures, you dumb bastard.
I think this might also have a problem of just being one color. So it could just go in every green deck. So it just becomes like everywhere.
I still...
You don't think so? This one seems like it could have a big effect. Sway of Stars is kind of like, I don't know. Coalition Victory goes in 5
I guess
color
I have
decks.
to take my mindset out of like
green is
theming
like
wise and how we build decks. It has to fit in my theme of...
But that's not how people play.
I know, but that's how I play. So that's why I feel like nothing should be banned, because I'm like, well, if it doesn't fit in my theme, I'm not fucking playing it. I don't care if it's a whatever. And so I just like having this as an option of, maybe I am playing it.
Biorhythm would turn into a Cyclonic Rift, in my opinion, at this point. It would just go in and be like, how do I win the game?
Cyclonic Rift's an instant. Like, Cyclonic Rift's an instant has an answer for everything.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be this.
Yes, this would be greens. This would be like right next to Craterhoof Behemoth. They're going in the same deck.
Yeah, maybe Craterhoof. Yeah, I guess I could see that, but I wouldn't say Cyclonic. I feel like Cyclonic is like up here and Craterhoof is like down here.
Okay, so it's another Craterhoof in the same deck, and just creates more consistency, harder to interact with, because you can't like get rid of ETBs, you can't counter that. Like it has to be a counter spell, not countering the like the ETB effect or whatever, or like stopping attacking. Like it just gets around so much more stuff than Craterhoof. It's better than Craterhoof. Is that something that you would want to like?
I wouldn't say it's better.
Yes, it is. If somebody has 1, 2, 3, 5, even 5 creatures, and everybody goes down to 5, and you're able to get one big creature through, that person's dead. And everybody's dead.
One person. What ends up happening with Craterhoof is everybody's dead.
But if it doesn't happen though, if somebody has ghostly, there's stopping attack. If you have ghostly prison and propaganda are cards.
This is biorhythm is you're picking off one person. That person's dead. What happens with Craterhoof is it gets played and it's like, all right, this is the game. I'm attacking with this 30-30 and this 30-30 and this 30-30 and this 40-40 is coming at you and this one. Like it just wipes.
But there's commonly played things like Ghostly Prison and Propaganda, Elephant Grass that just stop you from being attacked. They're commonly played and can just.
The problem is Biorhythm has a downfall because it hits you as well. So if you're playing anybody that's red, and like for example, if you're playing my Daryl deck, and you go, oh, everybody's life is this, and I go, oh, okay, Well, now you're dead because I have an instant spell that you just lost. You have 5 creatures. Oh, that's easy. That's what I needed you at. Everybody takes 5 damage. I win the game. Like there's red players are going to kill that person. So I would say if we're comparing it Craterhoof to Biorhythm, I still put Craterhoof way above that because there's no downfall for a Craterhoof player. Biorhythm brings you down as well. It's all up to your creatures. And how often do you have 15, 20 creatures
I think the
up?
problem not only is green the ramp color, it's also the creature color.
It is.
And so you're going to have the most life.
Maybe.
More than likely.
Maybe. That's
And
a white
so,
player.
like,
White players, the life gainers. Well, the life doesn't matter because when you cast this, your life becomes your total of your creatures. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Is like
I'm just saying green's going to have the most creatures and the most ramp and going to be able to close the game out.
right.
And,
I mean-
but the question is it's what, 8 mana? If it's 8 mana, should that be happening? Maybe. I'm not saying that it should or should not be banned. I just don't know if that's something. It's less likely than Sway of the Stars in my mind.
Yeah, I can maybe see that. It's green. I want it unbanned because it was unbanned at one point, and then they banned it. Well, when did they ban it?
I don't know. They don't.
But it
put
was
year next
unbanned
to
at
that
one
shit.
point. All right, what is your last card? We're gonna get 2-hour episode, two
Again?
hour episodes
Oh my
back
goodness.
to back.
All right. I'm gonna go with Golos. Should be unbanned
Just because it got
Go-
unbanned or banned?
because it just got. No, it's not just because it got banned. I think when you took that away, I think you took a lot of jank decks out of the format.
Oh, then that's good. Let's get them out of here.
No, like I get it. Like I think it was the ultimate good stuff deck, and I get
Dude,
that part. But like
they made up with it with the shrines. This was the shrine. This was your shrine commander, right?
no, I don't think it was. I think Sisay, one of the Sisays was
Oh, is
the
that
shrine one.
What
Yeah.
was number 2 using Golos for?
I don't know. I don't remember. I had a Golos deck. It was a Gates deck. You know what I mean?
Oh, Gates. That's,
I had Gates.
Oh, it's Gates.
Did he
Gates.
have Gates as well?
No, it was Gates. What
Okay.
I was thinking about.
And so like it got rid of. It could have been 5-color energy. It could have been 5-color whatever it needed to be. It could have been shrines. You know what I mean? It was a really good catch-all that also happened to just kind of be everywhere and just kind of was too much and like hard to remove because when it did come into play, it kind of half replaced itself. So like if it got killed, you'd be able to play it the next turn anyway because it ramped itself. Like
Yeah,
So-
that is pretty ridiculous. I've
and it
never
was
played
colorless,
with. Yeah.
but like the activated ability needed the 5 mana, in which it solved itself. It's a
good
really
card.
good. It's a really good
It's a
card.
really good
but
card.
but I think
But it doesn't
missing-
even get banned. It doesn't need to get banned,
Yeah.
especially this day and age at this point.
Yeah, I think the problem is that it got rid of a lot of jank decks, and jank is part of the format. And I think that's okay to have that.
Yeah.
Like it was just, and so like
Yeah. The fucking, you got to still pay 5, 6, 7, and you're looking at the top 3 cards, and it's like, fuck land. All right, maybe one spell. Like
Yeah. So
It-
it's. I wish. I think it could be unbanned.
oof. The fact
I
that
think
they
it could.
banned it so recently is the hard part. I feel like
I agree.
out of
I
our
agree.
list, I think it's our least likely for. Let me
Yes.
rephrase that.
Yep. Yeah,
I think
no,
it's
agree.
I think it's the bottom of the list, but it could get unbanned. I'm not saying that it's not going to. I think it's just going to take the longest because they
Like,
just banned
in
it.
a comparison to a lot of those cards on the list, the ban list, you're just like, this doesn't need to be banned.
Yeah.
It's maybe consistent, and maybe it is like
And it's 5 color. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yep.
It's more
Yep.
the more 5 color commanders you can have, the better. And like there's like
I
you
think
just
there's
said,
that.
the jank part of it is plain. There's so many different styles of this one. It isn't just this is the deck type you're playing.
I don't think I've seen a card where more people have saying, I'm going to rule 0 this.
Right.
Because this is stupid. Because it runs, before it ran my vehicles deck, before it ran whatever deck needed the support of all 5 colors, but just didn't have that commander.
Yeah.
Like it did a really, really good job of doing that. And so, and it also just fit into every 5 color deck, right? As well. So there is that as well.
At 99, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's a very good card. But like it's not Channel, it's not Fast Bond, it's not Yawgmoth's Bargain, it's not these crazy cards. It's like an annoying card that's hard to get rid of. And I don't know if that's bannable. Like that's not on my ban list. When that happened, that I've never seen on our Discord of people just going, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was hardly anybody who was like, oh, I get it.
So what if they remove the legendary aspect to it?
I think
then it's not as good of a card because then
Yeah.
you lose the jank part of it.
Yep.
Which
then it wouldn't
kinda
matter.
sucks.
I don't think it would have been banned if it wasn't legendary, but I think it's good as a legend because of that aspect. Or just like
that makes it fun. The thing is we need more 5 color commander different things.
Yeah. And so like Kenrith turned into that.
Yeah.
But it has more specific things going on. And so it kind of like it still works. But it's not I don't think it's as fun. Maybe. I don't know.
Kenrith has a lot of different angles to it, which is nice.
Yeah.
This one had the chances of like hitting some crazy stuff with it. I like that.
It did.
Yeah. All right. Let's try to make this shorter than 2 hours, and let's move into our.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Round 1.
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
Fight.
Staple versus. All right, so we have a new thing this week.
What?
The winners, because of a suggestion, I think, from Gwen and actually from Lowery doing the placing the crown on his head last week. We have crowns. We have these nice crowns, if you're on the YouTubes, and it has 3 out of the. We should color the other gems different colors. Crowns that the winner for that week will wear the crown and make the argument for the current week.
I either look like the king from the Robin Hood
no, you
with
look
the
like
fox, or
you
I look like a Saudi prince.
No, I was thinking from Monty Python. You look like the king.
I could
from
do that too. Yeah.
All right, so we will do the results, and the winner of last week's voting will get to wear the crown.
Oh, it's not
Lowery
me.
is
I know
predicting.
All right, I'm putting this.
Predicting him. So
Last
last
charm
week,
against heroic intervention. Come on,
heroic intervention. All
I'm
right,
not that delusional.
Hey, there was some argument. I had, dude, in
I had
fucking
plenty
Discord.
of
So let's start with Discord.
Yeah.
Discord voted 55% for Boros charm. Fuck you, Discord. Fuck you.
What are you doing?
Fuck you. Just kidding. I love you guys. But I had lots of arguments with that.
Yeah, you did.
It was funny because everyone's like, sounds like you're losing. I'm like, no, I just like to have arguments with you guys with it. Then we go to Twitter. 55%. So we had 55% for the Discord. 55% of the votes went to heroic intervention.
Okay.
All right.
It's highly, Twitter's going to have more votes.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
A little bit.
That's
Maybe
okay.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
YouTube is our big guy. So that's the one that matters the most. And YouTube with 70% of the votes went to Bora Heroic Intervention. Yes, I will wear my crown this week because YouTube YouTube is the king of that. 63% of the votes went to
King of the castle. King of the castle.
This is fucking weird. I don't know how to do my headphones. How the hell?
I think it just fits over the headphones now.
You might be right. Hang on. Let me take this off here.
You don't even know how to be a king. How about you just...
No, that doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work for you? It works for me.
How about over your headphones?
Yeah, it just sits really nice.
you have your like little.
Yeah, it sits really
your
nice
hood.
on there. I'll pretend to be the king for you this time. Okay, how about that? I don't like that idea.
There we go. I got it.
Okay.
There we go. I got my
All
crown
right.
on. It
All
works.
right.
All right. You're a little distant because my headphones aren't as close to my ears. But,
you just
all
look
right.
like a person who drinks Pabst instead of like Bud Light or something. That's
Look at these little gems. These are sweet, dude.
cute.
All right, so each week, the winner will wear the crown for that week, and we'll pass this crown around. So, good suggestion. I like it because
It looks
I
great.
Look like
Looks
I look
great.
like a douche.
Yeah, you do.
All right, Larry. What is our two battles for this week? What are we? Staple Versy?
Versus. All right, so Adam's going to be doing Inspiring Statuary. He is going to talk about that after I talk about Honor-Worn Shaku, which is three
What
colors.
is that card? I have to look
Honor-Worn
it up.
Shaku. You don't even have to. I did a curated on it like 2 months,
Oh, you
like
did?
a couple. Yeah.
No one watches that.
God. Okay. 3 colorless artifact. It taps for colorless, and then you can tap a legendary permanent to untap it. And so this allows you to be able to tap your like planeswalkers. And this goes, they're both colorless. And so we're talking about any deck that we can fit this in. We're talking about,
Oh,
planeswalkers,
you're naming a lot of them.
creatures, equipment, are in legendary enchantments. You can even tap on like
How many
legendary
evil
lands to
characters?
untap the Honor-Worn Shaku.
How many legendary
joke.
enchantments
That was a
or equipment there are compared to just regular equipment?
What?
I'm just saying, like,
What are we talking about?
okay, I haven't
Like-
got to mine yet.
You want? We could talk about Umazo's Jit is a legendary equipment.
Sure.
Yeah, there's
But I have-
plenty
I have-
of them.
I have the options of all the equipment because I can use them at my disposal
You could.
with Inspiring Statuary because it is 3, the same amount to come out. So it's not necessarily a mono rock where I can't tap it.
Yeah.
But my non-artifact spells I cast have improvised, so I can tap
Yeah.
that same equipment.
Yep.
To pay for 1 mana
For
I
a
don't need to have
non-equipment card.
for non-artifact cards.
Yep. But I mean, it can't be like if you're an equipment deck.
Right. But so things we have to think about here. Yes,
Yeah.
we are both talking about artifacts.
Yep.
Well, we either are playing a deck that has a shit ton of legendaries because why would you play your card if you didn't have legendary creatures?
No, you
or
absolutely
cards?
That disagree.
have
Fully
enough-
disagree. You don't have to have a shit ton of that stuff. All you have to do is have
It's just
stuff.
a 3 mana colorless mono rock.
Yeah,
Mine
but
at
if-
least I can go half and half with artifacts and non-artifact spells, and I can play a lot of tokens stuff like clues. I can use those clues.
You mean food? Food's probably
no,
a
fuck
blutter.
food. No, food is not a part of that because it is a tap ability with it. Treasure tokens actually work too because I can use the treasure to use it for the improvise while not sacrificing. So I keep the
That's a
treasure
really good
token.
point. Use mana to create mana. You have the treasures. It's fine. You can just
It's
use
fun.
the treasures.
I'll just keep gaining them until later when
Until
people
later
realize
when
that
I don't have
Inspiring
anything to use
Statuary
it.
is so fucking amazing that I need to destroy it, and then I have all these.
I'm going to
treasures that
assume if you have a ton of treasures, you probably didn't need statuary. It probably becomes just like a dead card in your hand.
My biggest thing. So here's some other things that work well with this card.
Oh, other artifacts?
Yes, Howling Mine.
Yeah.
I can tap the Howling Mine so no one else draws, and then it untaps on my upkeep. I am the only one that draws. I only have to pay 2 for Howling Mine.
How many cards are like that? Like 4
Oh,
that are decent?
Winter Orb.
Yeah. Yep.
Static Orb.
Yep.
Trinisphere.
Yep.
Blinkmoth Urn. Storage Matrix. All of those. I get the benefit of not being the downfall of all those.
Wouldn't you just rather play Urza?
No, what are we talking about Urza? Why are we talking about
Urza's just like there's better cards than Inspiring Statuary that just work.
I'm using
better.
those cards for my mana, and also at the same point, making it so that the other opponent is not reaping the benefits of all those things. What can yours do with that? Can
What?
yours do?
No, it can't. I would agree with that.
None of those I just named are legendary.
No, I would agree, but I could tap Urza to untap Honor-Worn Shaku to get more mana.
Because it's legendary.
Okay, yeah, right. So here's the thing: is like you're all like you have a legend. You're going to be playing that commander. So you'll always
Sure,
like
you got
3
a
mana for
legendary.
2 is already a fairly good rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you need to do. Just 3 for 2.
No,
No.
there was gonna be more to that.
Okay, so we're just using this as like an example. Like, I can cast any spell that I need to. It can be instant. It can be a sorcery, just like yours. But it can also just be an artifact that can allow me to cast it like a legendary that untaps it some more.
But what we are talking, and we didn't do the explanation of this.
It doesn't matter.
But that's all right. So, but we are assuming with this deck is we have 1 spot left, right?
Mhm.
So, by what our cards are doing,
We are assuming that there's a shit ton of legends and a shit ton of artifacts that are casting.
also a shit ton of non-artifacts. So we have fucking 3 things happening all at once with this.
Yeah, that's our assumption.
So, that's our spot. That's left.
That's right there. What are you gonna choose?
To go back really quick on your equipment thing.
Yeah.
I can tap those equipment as well.
Yes,
I
you
cannot
can.
do the planeswalkers. You
You
are
cannot.
correct.
Or
You
the
get benefit.
enchantments, or the artifact. Well, you could do the artifacts. All right. Wait,
I
or
can
the
do the
creatures.
Well, I can tap them if they're artifacts.
And like I said, I can tap land to untap Shaku.
You're good. Wait.
I can tap
So
a Gaia's Cradle to untap the Shaku.
Makes sense. Just in case there's no creatures in play, you have that benefit.
Just
that you
in
make.
case.
You just make Gaia's Cradle even better
Yep.
because when there's
So
no
many
creatures-
uses.
You make me laugh so hard I have to pee now. This sucks.
That's the problem with 2-hour episodes right there.
Yeah, it is.
No, I think I can't give my thoughts at this point. We'll talk about this next week, I guess. But I mean, Shaku's super good. It's so underplayed. It's under like 500 decks used on EDH Rec. It's insane how little that is used.
I was not. Oh man, I sound like an old man laughing.
Yeah.
I was not expecting you to go it's under 500 decks. I didn't even look up the amount of decks. That was brilliant. That was you got me.
Yeah. Yeah, I just
Two
that
cry
didn't help me,
episode.
did it?
You
That
win.
didn't help me.
You win. I think you win for that factor right there. Yeah.
I think it
don't
could be-
really have much.
Okay.
That's all I have to
Maybe
say
I should-
about that. No, you go ahead. You had something else you wanted
Nah.
to say. 'cause
No, I don't want to say
it's under
that.
500.
I don't want to say that one bit. I don't want to say that.
Oh man. I had it. You can use tokens. I already said the clue stuff. You're not going to use food. So token decks really work well with mine because like creature, like artifact stuff, token stuff, mirrors and different things like that aren't legendary.
The mirrors?
They're not legendary. Don't think about it.
I know, but like you're gonna
Who plays mirrors?
no one.
But you have your there's servo tokens or ornithopter things and, the flying.
No, totally sound confident when you say that.
I don't really need to be confident at this point because it's under 500 decks, so it's totally underplayed.
It's underplayed. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that people need to figure it out and get on the same page.
You know what you should have said is it was on Curated MTG. So that's
how good you know it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a good point. All right,
we're good. All right, you guys can vote for either one of these two. You can check out YouTube on the community tab. You can check out Twitter. We have the voting going on there. And if you are part of the Discord, you can vote there as well. You can vote all three places. Next week's winner will wear this little crown right here. If you're not watching, there's a nice crown. Watch it. I think that'll do it for this week. Next week we have a plan. We're planning this.
We have a plan.
We have a plan. So
for at least an hour and a half.
Might be right. Hey, we're under 2 hours. Let's get this over. All right, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
I love boobs. I'm talking tatas. I love boobs. I'm bonkers for honkers. I love boobs. Thanks for the memories. I love